Welcome back, guys, to the shed. This will probably be about part 3 of my Saturday morning rants. My last video I sort of finished talking about a minigun, specific minigun, the U-POL minigun. As you can see, not truly a budget price, but nevertheless for its quality, very good price. 99 quid plus the tax, obviously. Over the years I've had quite a few SATA miniguns and they've always been fantastic, can't knock them at all, brilliant. I stocked up on lots of spares, different kits, 1.1, 0.8, various different kits. Eventually, through use, my SATA 3 got a bit worn, a bit tired, served me well for thousands and thousands of hours of painting. And just by chance one day I thought I'd have a look at this. This is another one of those surprising guns. Made by U-POL. I hope you can see that in there. Quality of chrome work, utterly fantastic. Not a mark, not a scratch. Quality of a knurling on all the fittings. Some of the best engineering that I've seen for a long time. The controls, nice and firm, precise, not wobbly like a cheap budget gun. And as I said in my last video, the real surprise, all the geometry inside the gun is exactly the same as the SATA 3. So as you can see, this one's kitted out with a SATA 3 1.1 HVLP setup. You can probably see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. We'll start with SATA matched numbers, the needle, fluid tip, everything is all matched, same numbers. Seal behind the fluid tip, SATA part number as well, exactly the same. So this meant that I could use up all my SATA kits. I had at that time, this is the 1.1 kit, which I think you can see the part number there. If you want to buy one of those from SATA, they're still readily available even though the bodies aren't. Great little kit, 1.1 HVLP. Also, I have the other one, still boxed up. This is the Spot Repair 0.8. Nice little SATA kit. You can see the part numbers on there. If you can, 53454. Fits the Minijet 2 or 3 SR. That kit, or both those kits, fit exactly into this gun without changing any trigger pull. As you can see and possibly hear that, trigger pull absolutely fantastic. So there's no difference of length of needles, the spring is correct, the fitment of the spring, diameter of the needle for the orifice that the needle goes into the back of the gun body itself, all exactly the same. So I was well pleased that I could use up my kits with another gun. This gun, I believe, is so good that professional people like 3Ms and SATA, whatever, have sort of made available bits for it. Not directly, obviously SATA to U-POL, obviously that would be incorrect in saying. Comes with a decent pot with a filter in, so we can actually put the filter in. If you wanted to filter it, comes with a little inline filter, which fits in tight, rather than the cheaper guns that are all loose and half the dirt goes down the side of the filter. Quality pot, once again, just the standard pot, so if you just wanted to use the pot and filter your paint, way to go. Nice 3/4 turn release for the pot, so you haven't got loads and loads of threads. Very easy to clean, so your pot doesn't get all stuck up with paint. So that's one option. Also, 3M must be aware that being such a sort of professional gun, they do the PPS adapter, part number 21. That PPS adapter fits directly onto the thread of the gun, so you can use all your PPS cups and filters as well. I've struggled in the past to get anything like that to fit the little tiny budget guns. That's why I've gone away from them. This setup is a truly professional setup. That's why I feel a little bit embarrassed as comparing it to a budget gun in my last video, but it's truly not. It's truly a good gun. Also, I've made on many occasions reference to the guns that I use, like this one. As you can see, this is 2 years old. This gun's probably been used 50 or 60 times, so it's well looked after, always cleaned. As I say, no squeaky body, no squeaky triggers. It works as it should. And I put a lot of my gun maintenance down to the protection and grease that I use. I've been aware, someone has told me recently in my last couple of videos, that you can buy this grease without using SATA and it works just as well. But I believe that SATA endorsed this and put their name on the grease for a reason. This proper grease, which is like a white grease, you can see there's one knot there, just like a white cream, silicone and grease free. So I've used this for a long time on all my guns. I've never had any silicone or grease problems when using the guns after. Also, with my filtration units, if you're to unscrew the filter bowl to service the filters, they've got all little O-rings in. It's easily damaged, are those O-rings, when you push the unit back together, and I found a little bit of this lubricates all those seals, makes the seal go in correct so there's no bruising or scratching on the seals, they don't leak air. And I put that down to this grease as well. This is like £9 a tub, and because you use such a tiny amount, the part number 48173, I just can't find anything, or I'm not even looking for anything better, to be honest. That's probably the best that there is. As I mentioned also in my last video with reference to the U-POL gun, the kit that the U-POL gun comes with is perfectly adequate for what you're going to use it for. This in here I put back in the SATA box because I've got the SATA kit in the gun. This here is the kit out of the U-POL. The machining, the parts are equally as good a quality as the SATA. There's no horrible machining, any cheesiness in the threads. The needle is virtually perfect. It's not just a gash needle, it's got all the correct recesses for holding the spring. It's the correct size for the bump stop at the end of where your adjustment is. The tip is really precise, and like I mentioned before, this HVLP air cap, which comes standard on the gun, once again I hope you can see that in the machining and quality of the air cap. And basically at the end of the day, the air cap quality is what determines your paint finish. The needle and tip, yes, it can create you drips and sputters and whatever, but at the end of the day it's a hole in a piece of metal with a peg plug in it, so it doesn't need to be too technical. But the air cap, the way it seals, the wind ports, the holes in the nozzle, the direction that the air is blown at your paint coming through the fluid tip, that has to be precise. That has to be where all the engineering is put into the part, into the gun. Like I say, for £99, so that you can use up all your SATA 3 spare parts, I think it's quite a good thing to have. I anticipated these would be on the shelf looking pretty for quite a few years and never ever used again. The Sartor 3, I loved the Sartor 3. That's why it had so much use. It behaved itself impeccable all the time. That's why I got different setups for it. I anticipated using that forever. Like I say, after many thousands of hours painting, nothing can last forever, and Sartor have done their best to give us something that lasts forever. Their new 3000B and the 4000 miniguns, once again, absolutely outstanding. Ones I've got here, absolutely perfect, no problems with them at all. Great guns to use, great guns in your hands. Every time a new gun comes out, it seems to be better and better and better. But sometimes you have your old favourites, like the Sartor 3 was, the Mini Jet 3. Just want to keep it going as long as possible. Done a lot of nice work with that, a lot of detailing work, spraying helmets, motorcycle parts, whatever, with that gun. Absolutely fantastic. So once again, if you're going to go for a, once again I'll say it and I apologise to U-POL, a budget priced gun, which it is a budget priced gun, you look at the prices of everything else out there, I think you'll be well impressed. Give it a shot once again. Give me some feedback through YouTube. Tell me how you got on with the gun, whether you like the gun or not like the gun. Try it with some Sartor bits in, see if you can tell the difference between Sartor and U-POL. As I say, I can't. It's really quality item. Let me know. Let's have a chat about it in the future. Hope that was interesting. See you shortly.